Hopefully the final cut. I feel like I've been doing this the last 5 years. Alright. So Library Hall and recommendations. I was already holding it, but a nice little surprise. The same guy who got me the other Superman book got me this one, Superman Shazam. And what's funny about this one is, ironically enough, I'll be getting next week another Superman Shazam book, First Thunder. But that's just its own collection, so it's not collected in here. Probably because it'd be a thicker book, because I think the Superman Shazam First Thunder is like 50 pages per issue or something like that. I think it's a pretty thick book. There's the deluxe edition, so I don't think I'll be getting. I think I'll be getting the earlier printing. This one collects all special edition, collector's edition, C58. DC Comics presents 33, 34, 49, and then the third annual. Yeah, it was a nice surprise. I again, like, I did not mention. No, I didn't mention the First Thunder one. But yeah, very nice surprise to get this one. In fact, when I saw it first, I was like, oh, it's like, this one came early, but I forgot to put like a note on it. They had a note on it. They forgot to put on my account, say, hey, this book's out. But because I technically owned this one, I was going over what I collected too. You know, a little jumbled. There's a lot going on outside. All right. Can You Ever Forgive Me? And Speak. Speak, the book is based off the book by Louise House Anderson. I read the comic book adaptation. I really liked the book. I wanted to read the movie. I went to read the movie and watch the book. Yeah, it makes so much sense. I wanted to watch the movie. I never knew it was a movie. And it's kind of like one of those things I was like, it popped in my head and I was like, hey, I wonder if there's been a movie on it. And there was. It's a TV movie, technically. But it's Showtime. You know, it's a lot of noise going on. Putting the kitty away. We got a new kitty. Like, to get a new kitty, we got a stray kitty that ran from its pack. Something like that. And Can You Ever Forgive Me? This one was one of those movies that it's like the actress, like Melissa McCarthy, who usually does these stupid fucking comedies, did a semi-serious movie. It's still a comedy, but it's an actual good Melissa McCarthy performance. Now this next one, it was another one I was like, the hell with it. I'm gonna look it up. Not the hell with it, but like, for shits and giggles, I'm gonna look it up. And they had it. And I was like, yes, I've been dying to read this book. For all the wrong reasons. And you'll see exactly what I mean when I show it. And that is, I'm Not Starfire. This is one that I'm never, ever, ever gonna be a top... Well, it's gonna be a top seller because everyone wants to buy it and see how bad it is. But it's never gonna top any lists unless it's a top 10 worst comics of the year list. And probably it's gonna be on many people's top 10 worsts. I want to see how bad this is. I am so, like... I didn't want to spend a single penny on this. Even if it was $1.99, I would have considered it to be a waste of money at this point. This is local library, not intro loans, because it's too new for it to be intro loans. It would wait like 5 months. Speaking of intro loans, and the only intro loans book I'm going in completely different order than I usually do, and that's Captain America: Superior Stratagem. I had reread a Mark Gruenwald issue of Captain America I didn't like, and I liked it. So I was like, you know what? Let's give this book a second chance. Maybe actually read all the way through it. So I'm going to have this for a long-ass time, like it was Animal Man and ElfQuest. Star Wars, Volume 5, Yoda's Secret War. Marvel loves their Secret Wars. This is really weird, because on their computers, they show Volumes 2 through 6. And that's not it, because I know they have Volume 1. I've seen it. Actually, I got it not too long ago, too. But this one, they had it. It was good. I thought I got the wrong one. It was really weird the way they had it. Along with the next one, and that's Archie Volume 2. You already know how to flip with Volume 1. But they had volumes, according to the computer, they have Volume 1, 2, and they skip 3, and they go to 4. Book 3, they said, is on order, which is the first time I've ever seen that on the computers, or just in general. Because intro loans is one thing, but I've never seen that on the local library's website, the catalog, specifically. So now let's do reading recommendations, starting with Paul. Starting with Paul. That was that Seth Rogen alien comedy movie. It's pretty good. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Seth Rogen's comedy. It's like, oh, he has a funny laugh. He talks about weed all the time. What grade A comedy? You're gonna have any other jokes? No? Okay. I'm done. Bye. But no, it was not. It was more than that, and it was all the better for it. I think it was one that Seth Rogen had the least involvement with. I could be wrong, but it's also, let's see if it was. Let's see what it says specifically. I can't really see because the Interloans sticker is over it, but there we go. The director. It was the director of Superbad. I really like Superbad, so it's no wonder I like this one. But it was pretty funny. I did like it more when it was just the three guys. It was the two main leads, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, and then the alien played by Seth Rogen. Kristen Wiig is not gonna never gonna be one of my favorite actresses. She has a stick, and she's not too bad. Like I wouldn't mind seeing a movie with her. If she was in a movie that I wanted to see, I wouldn't want to see it any less or any more because she was in it. She's just an actress to me. Just not really that funny, but not. She's not Amy Schumer, basically. She's not Amy Schumer levels of unfunny, but she's not like the chronic. She's not okay. Sarah Silverman. I don't know. I don't really watch a whole lot of comedians. It's kind of like stand up comedies. Because she's in stand up, right? I think she is. I don't know. But that's what we're talking about. Because that's kind of how you do it. I don't know. I can't think of any comedic woman, but I can't think of any comedic men either. So let's move on before I get canceled on Twitter. But yeah, Paul I thought was a decent enough movie. Not too raunchy either. So if the family's all mature enough, I'm sure it'd be fine. It's there's no abundance of sex jokes. A few of them, of course. It's an R-rated movie, but it's not like Superbad levels, actually. I'd sooner see Paul than Superbad with my family, is what I'm trying to say. And then Halloween, all this stuff with Laurie Strode and Michael. This is the new one, the 2018 one, the one that comes right before Halloween Kills. The stuff with Laurie Strode and Michael Myers is top notch. Everything else I could not care less about, even with it being her Laurie Strode's daughter and granddaughter. You know, the whole family dynamic. I liked the whole family dynamic. I liked, and how she treated her daughter, you know, being so scared of Michael Myers and the whole PTSD. That was really interesting. It was one of those movies that does do that does tell, don't show, but it does also show, don't tell. It doesn't show in flashbacks too much, like very brief flashbacks. I tell the story and they show like little itty bitty flashbacks, but they don't do like a full flashback, and it was all the better for it. I think it was better that they just kind of told you it, but it was still show, don't tell. But everything else, there was just like the granddaughter had no good subplots. It was all just, oh, the boy I liked is kind of a jerk, and it's like that kind of stuff, and it was just not interesting. Why is that a Halloween movie? It's making the movie longer. I feel like if it was an hour and a half, it'd been perfect. But they had to have the boyfriend be a jerk, so all three women were at the conclusion, which I liked. You know, having the whole family basically, except for one, but the whole family there and facing off against Michael Myers was a good conclusion. And had it been for, I don't know what would have happened, because I feel like it wasn't just a box office that dictated the trilogy, because it's a trilogy now. For ology, if you count the original Halloween movie. Which, quick synopsis, quick review of the original Halloween. The acting is bad, but everything else is pretty good. There you go. That's my review of the original Halloween. But it's an older movie, and I feel like it's the director more than the actors themselves. Because John Carpenter, I realized that was 40 years ago. I don't think he was as seasoned as he is now. Definitely not. A good example is Christine. Christine is a lot better, and it shows that John Carpenter, just only a few years later, had vastly improved. But it was a nice movie. If it wasn't for the poor reception of Halloween Kills, I would already be seeing that movie. But due to the poor reception and them saying you can skip it, I'm gonna skip it and then just wait for Halloween Ends to come out and then watch that one. I do recommend the 2018 Halloween movie, because you only have to watch Halloween 1978 and 2018, because it's a direct sequel. It's one of those sequels that ignores all the other sequels. Like with Halloween 20 years later. Halloween H2O 20 years later did the same thing that Halloween 2018 does, but they're different enough movies, so, you know, 2018 exists without it, you know what I mean? Like, it's a reason for that one to exist. Dark Crystal had so those of you who have seen it will know what I'm talking about. It's right when that emperor dies, he's making that weirdest sound, like that was when they all told me to shut it off. My 5-year-old nephew loved it. He wanted us to keep watching it, but everyone else is like, no, shut it off. I don't care if he wants to watch it. We're not watching it anymore. Even though I brought it for him. That's not the point. The point was they didn't. It was so weird. The rest of the movie is not that great. It's not terrible, and I would recommend it if you want to watch it, if you want more from the Netflix show. But I feel like people that have watched the Netflix show have seen the original Dark Crystal. And I've heard the Netflix show improves upon every downside, every negative aspect of the original movie. Because every negative aspect of the movie, Jim Henson, the director, shares with us because he didn't get all of what he wanted in the movie. It was one of those movies where the studio wanted what they wanted, and they weren't gonna take a no for an answer, So the Netflix, just watch the Netflix show apparently. I guess is the lesson to be learned here. Main takeaway, not lesson to be learned. Main takeaway here. Supergirl Rebirth, one of those series that I wish they'd just given us a continuation of the New 52 storyline and with the same author too. Because Steve Orlando cannot write. His Man-Thing was okay at best, and mediocre and terrible, and just all just boring at worst. It got a lot better, his Man-Thing, but for the most part, everything I've read from Steve Orlando has just been bland. And his Supergirl run was more than bland. It was boring. There was some aspects I liked, but most of it I was just waiting for it to be over. Usually I read to the last day, like I have 2 left, I just read it like all in one day. I had to read one Wednesday and one Thursday because I was going to go insane if I had to read more than one issue. That was how bad it was. One of those books. But I stuck through it, finished it. Come on, why are we talking? I don't like you just go in the fucking room or just text them. They have both. They have the ability to do both. Alright, so Archie, Volume 1. It was good. I mean, I got Volume 2, so obviously Volume 1 is good. It was one of those books that I kept seeing at the library, but I knew they had it on Prime Reading, at least the first volume, so I was going to wait till then. But because I've been putting so many books on Prime Reading for when a movie comes out, like when Eternals comes out, good example, when Eternals came out, they gave you a bunch of Eternals books to read for free. That kept happening, so I was like, I'm never going to read Archie, so let's get from Prime Reading anyways. So let's get it from the library. I'm glad I did because I read it before in high school, but I didn't remember a single thing. So I just wanted a refresher, and I'm glad I did because I really liked it. It was really good. It reminded me of all the best parts of Riverdale, but it's not a murder mystery. It's like this plain old Archie, but it's good because it's written by a competent writer. Superior, written by Mark Millar. Now, the funny thing is that Comic Pop does not like Mark Millar, but they like Tom King. That's like not liking Stan Lee, but you like Roy Thomas. They give you the same thing. And actually, Mark Millar is better than Tom King, 1,000% more. But they don't like how he's so like edgy and dark and everything like that. And Tom King is all those. Tom King's he's more depressed. Like Tom King, like he writes, like he's writing to a therapist. That's from what I've heard. Is that like every book that comes out, it's like he's writing to us as if we are his therapist. He writes his feelings basically, and that's not what you want to do. Not in that way, at least. But Superior I liked. I'm gonna Tom King / Comic Pop brand. I do like Comic Pop as a they're one of those people I'll never listen to their opinion on, but I will listen to their actual content because their content is good. They have good chemistry with everyone, and they put a lot of effort into their videos. Just because I don't agree with what they have to say for a comic book does not mean I'll stop watching them. Not one of those people. For the most part, there is a certain line that certain YouTubers have crossed that have made me unsubscribe from them when they really just said that they didn't like a movie. They liked a movie. It's more like political, when they comic Drake basically. And I don't hate him either. I don't hate any YouTubers really, except for the really bad ones. But like YouTubers that I subscribe to and I have like unsubscribed from, it's usually been because I don't watch their YouTube videos anymore, and I just have fallen out of like interest. Got to me. Especially if I keep getting off track. But yeah, sorry, Superior. It was a good reread, and ironically enough, it's kind of it's inspired by Shazam more than Superman. because it's a boy that gets turned into an adult superhero, and saves the world basically. It's very hopeful too. Like for a Mark Millar book, it's very hopeful. It has a lot of stakes, obviously, but it's also a very grounded story. A very grounded story too. He's a first superhero basically, which I found that a nice little touch too, because Superman is I would say it's the Superman Shazam inspired book, both of them. And I like how they kind of do the first superhero, because Superman was the first superhero basically. I like that little touch they did. And it's a love letter to Superman and Super Shazam, honestly. And it's a good love letter. It's a good love letter to Shazam and Superman, and it works. It's the best, actually, probably the best review I can ever give to a book like that. Superboy, the New 52 series. Now, New 52 is not known for being good. Even people that despise the New 52, which is pretty much everybody, will say there are good New 52 books to pick up, like Batman, Flash, Supergirl in my case, what was the other one? Justice League. But for the most part, they say you can skip most of them. And Superboy is one that I would say, if your comic store has it on clearance, which it should at this point, all New 52 should be on clearance at this point. They're old-ass books. That's how I was able to get the rest of my the Batman New 52 books, was that they're all on clearance. The rest of them that I needed to get were all on clearance. They're that old. But if it's on clearance, I'd say get it. You won't feel like you wasted too much money, because it gives you enough. It has some pacing issues, but when it gets going, it gets going, and when they have good pacing, it have great pacing. It's a middle of the road book for me, because there's a lot of pacing issues, but there's enough in it that was good for me to slightly recommend it. Again, clearance, get it. At local library, get it. Other than that, I would say it depends on your mileage, I guess. How much you're willing to stand of this kind of story. Because it is one of those darkness, no parents type of book where it's all angsty and stuff. But there's, again, some hope in it at the end. There's like a semi-happy ending. Yes, I did get that from Lego Movie, obviously. When someone just like got something for somebody thought someone got something from a movie, but it just did not. Like, it was just completely coincidence. It hadn't happened before. Anyways, Flintstones, the first volume. It is there is politics in it, definitely, but it is not focused on one sort of set. It's not set like, a political commentary, or not political commentary. It's not, an election for the entire first volume. No, they have one issue per political issue. It's not, like, too on the nose, and it's very, like, it's still enjoyable. You still like the book. You still like the characters and everything else. But I think if they took out the political elements, it would go a lot better. The first issue was my favorite, because it wasn't politics heavy at all. It was just a nice little Flintstones book with a lot of the Flintstones comedy that comes with the, it comes to the territory of Flintstones. Like, they have the TV, but it's a rock. Or no, it's like a rock TV. Or, no, it's a terrible example. There's cars that have to run with their feet to make it go. A lot of those jokes. But they're actually funny because they have a harder edge. It's a I would say it's a TV PG, TV 14 kind of book. It's T14 kind of book. So they can have some harder edge, not too hard edge, obviously. But like slightly harder edge jokes in it. But I liked it. And it was, other than the political commentary isn't too bad, because they don't focus on one thing for too long. So you get something new every issue. I kept reading it, I gotta get my books. I haven't even finished the ones I had before today's haul. Star Wars, just as good as ever. Vader, it was I think it was the last volume that I said it was a little bit slower. There's a lot more slower parts, and a lot more talking about like trade federations and that kind of shit, like from the prequels that everyone hated. But this volume makes up for it, and actually gives you the fast-paced action that you liked, and the fast-paced everything that you liked. And just a damn good story. It's Kieran Gillen, and Kieran Gillen knows how to write dialogue. He knows how to write stories. He knows how to do pacing. He will never have a too much of a hard time with pacing, unless he's really stuck. And in that case, then he probably should end it at that point. But he does, actually. When he's stuck, he probably ends the book, and he's like, here's the conclusion, the end. I wonder if he has the ending written before he writes the book, so if, just in case, if he hits a dead end, he can just end it. Or he gets cancelled. Not himself, but no, his book. And he's technically an SJW, so I don't think he can get cancelled. Still good, but I think he has a little bit more of a leeway. Headlopper. I can actually show it now. Alright, so here's a prime example of shitty artwork that makes a book worse. I don't know what it is. Here, where's a good example of the artwork? A lot of it's just like... okay, I shouldn't be looking this far for it. I guess right here, it's just like this kind of artwork. I don't like this kind of artwork. It's just too cartoony. And I thought it was like a comedy thing, like kind of like how Shrek does it, but for a much older audience. And I was only thinking Shrek as medieval times. But no, you're supposed to take some of it seriously and some of it not so serious. In Shrek too. Shrek you're also supposed to take seriously as a story, but also has jokes in it. But I thought it would be more like a comedy, like more... parody, there we go, Jesus Christ, I cannot think of the word. But I thought it'd be more like it's a parody, a straightforward parody, because of the artwork. Look at this artwork, I think it's like, oh, it's like a comic strip. Okay, cool. And it's not. It's just an overlong, overstuffed book that's really boring. It's 4 issues, and each first one was 94 pages, but thank God almost every page was a splash page and splash panels, because I would have gone insane if I had to read that and it wasn't all splash panels. 94 pages is a long first issue. It's a lot of book for one issue. And it was actually $5.99 back then. That was a damn good price. It'd be $10. It'd be $10, no exceptions from Marvel and DC. Maybe one more. But yeah, I thought it was okay. It wasn't terrible. Sorry, I'm distracted. I get so distracted. There's so much noise out there. I need to get a headset. Just get a headset to like when I'm going to be in the dark for a little bit, so I can interrupt and just boom. No interruptions. Alright. They're going to be going up pretty soon. Alright, so almost done already. So Headlopper I thought was just mediocre at best and boring at worst. Like with that Man-Thing, Steve Orlando book I decided to prattle on about. Because apparently I'm reviewing that too, apparently. Hellboy. It was good. I'm getting more and more into Hellboy because Mike Mignola is getting more and more into Hellboy. You know, it's more... he's getting more used to it, and doesn't have to be as much setup, I guess. I don't know. The first volume I really liked. The second volume I thought was too damn slow. The third and fourth volumes I liked. Wait, third and fourth? Yes, third and fourth. And they fight this week. Kill a Man. That was the not Steve Orlando. Keep doing that. Was it Steve Orlando? Oh my God, it was Steve Orlando. Wow. Okay, this is Steve Orlando's best book, everybody. It's just mediocre at best. No, it's okay at best. It was good. It was just like... I feel like the pacing was really slow, and it makes sense it was Steve Orlando. But you know why it's Steve Orlando's best book? Because look who else is involved. Look who else is involved. Philip Kennedy Johnson. He makes the book better. I'm sure Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote more of it. Wrote more of the book than Steve Orlando did. Steve Orlando probably gave the basic premise, and Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote everything else. Could be wrong. Could be way off. No, it was not mediocre at best. I guess I was still on the Man-Thing. It was good. I liked it enough, but it's not one I'd never read again. And I would have been so pissed off I'd pay $17.99 for it. I got it for free. And finally, Aquaman. Exiled. The Cullen Bunn run. I'm going to go stack the books right now, so I'll keep talking, obviously, but I'm not going to be in focus. So if it says no more storage and it ends the video or all my iPad crashes, I'll really be talking to myself. So this is so much better than Jeff Parker's run. Jeff Parker's run was just stupid. It was boring. There's nothing to it. There was no reason for it to exist. And Cullen Bunn actually does something with Aquaman. Something different. And it's something that's kind of convoluted. It gets very convoluted near the end. Just in general, actually. But it was a pretty good book. I liked it. It seems to be downvoted very heavily on Goodreads. I'd say it's better than Jeff Parker's run, which is reviewed pretty high. Actually, higher, anything higher than the book. Yeah, higher than it should be. But yeah, that's it. So let's go. I'm gonna go through them again and give the letter scores, the number scores. Paul, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Halloween, I give like an 8 out of 10. Crystal Lake, Camp Crystal Lake. Dark Crystal, I give like a 6 out of 10. Supergirl, I give like a 4 out of 10. No, 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Archie, I gave like an 8.5 out of 10. Superior, I give like an 8 out of 10. Superboy, I have a 6.5. Flintstones, I give like a 7. Star Wars, 8, or whatever score I've been giving it. Vader, 8.5. Headlopper, I give like a 5 out of 10. Hellboy, I give like a 8 out of 10. Killer Man, I give like a 6.5. And then Aquaman, I gave like a 7. So a pretty good haul. There's no, except for Supergirl, there's always got to be one book that I'm reluctant to read the next issue of. Because it's either boring or slow or just bad. And will it be this week? I predict it will be either I'm Not Starfire or Captain America. But I'm Not Starfire. I just get so much enjoyment out of. That's it.